Hello, and welcome to the Minutes Within the Myths, where we walk through the cemeteries to bring you stories about cryptids, ghosts, and other mysteries. Today, we want to tell you about the ghost of Judge Stickney. Judge John B. Stickney was a widower with children who had moved to the St. Augustine after the end of the Civil War. He made his career as a state's attorney, but was called away to Washington, D.C. in October of 1882. He made the long and difficult trip northward, even though he was feeling unwell at the time. Upon reaching his destination, Stickney collapsed from illness and fever. Within 5 days, he was found dead in his room from typhoid fever. The body was shipped back to St. Augustine to be buried at the Huguenot Cemetery, and his orphaned children were adopted by a close friend and moved with him back to Washington, D.C. In 1903, they wanted to have their father's body moved from St. Augustine to be buried beside their adoptive father. The gravedigger exhumed the body while a crowd watched on. He opened the coffin and found the body to be in a good state of preservation and ready for transport. Just as he was about to close the lid, the sounds of two very intoxicated men were heard singing nearby. Without warning, and before Wells could prevent it, they grabbed the corpse from the casket. The drunks ran off with the body until Wells was able to finally catch up and retrieve the judge's corpse. He returned everything to the casket and was fixing the judge's appearance when he discovered that something was very wrong. Looking closely, the gravedigger discovered that all of the judge's gold teeth were missing. With nothing more that he could do, Wells closed the lid and shipped the toothless body to Washington, D.C., with the hope that the thievery would be unnoticed. The body of Judge Stickney now lies in his resting place in Washington, D.C., but a ghost of a well-dressed man has been reported to roam the Huguenot Cemetery still. He searches amongst the tombstones. It is possible that he is still looking for his missing gold teeth. Or perhaps the judge wishes to pass one final judgment on the men who defiled his body. I hope you enjoyed the story of the Judge Stickney ghost, and will come again for more stories about cryptids, ghosts, and other mysteries. But until then, look for ghosts roaming the cemetery and remain constantly curious.